The government The Planning Institute of Jamaica Agency is conducting a detailed assessment of the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa to the Jamaican economy. Director General of the PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, along with government ministers Matthew Samuda and Floyd Green, yesterday toured sections of St. Elizabeth ravaged by the storm. In an interview with Radio Jamaica News, Dr. Henry disclosed the PIOJ is still collecting data to determine the extent of the damage to the economy.
There's a National Disaster Council, Disaster Risk Management Council, chaired by the Prime Minister, with 7 committees of council. PIOJ chairs the Recovery Planning Committee. And so we have activated that intense, that detailed damage assessment. So we've had preliminary assessments that told us it's about 8.8 billion US is the sort of physical damage. The teams on the ground now is doing a detailed assessment where we do what we call ground truthing. We go and interview people. We look at the physical damage, and then we add also what we call economic losses. People have lost revenue, lost incomes, industries that have collapsed, and building back. We are factoring that in, and so we'll get a true sense of the full picture. So, for example, when you say Hurricane Beryl cost the country $57 billion, it was a result of that in detailed damage assessment.
Dr. Henry also disclosed that overseas experts are assisting the PIOJ in the assessment exercise.
So we got support from our UN partners, again, international partners. We have a tremendous team on the ground in Jamaica, over 30 agencies, experts trained, led by the PIOJ, trained to do this damage assessment in what we call the damage and loss methodology, and also post-disaster needs methodology, needs assessment. So we've been employing those tools, but because of the magnitude, we've had to bring in and incorporate support from outside. So I have a team of about 30 experts who came also and came through these same areas and interviewed people, did a lot of footage on the ground interviews, etc. So we hope to have that early in the year, just to give a full sense of what that is, and that will inform more intense recovery planning. As the Prime Minister said, that recovery phase has started already, but then in terms of as we go forward into the medium term, to have those details included.
Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry. Thousands of farms, farm produce, and livestock were destroyed in the storm, putting a strain on the country's food security. More than 100,000 homes and structures were damaged, leaving thousands of Jamaicans homeless. The Bank of Jamaica has again held its benchmark interest rate at 5.75% per annum, marking the third consecutive decision to leave rates unchanged. The central bank says the economic impact of Hurricane Melissa has been more severe than initially expected and could result in greater inflationary pressure in the months ahead. According to the Bank of Jamaica, damage to roads, buildings, the electricity grid, and other infrastructure is estimated at about 40% of gross domestic product. Damage to the agricultural sector alone is estimated at roughly 50% of its 2024 GDP. The bank has warned that headline inflation is expected to rise above its target range of 4 to 6% over the coming months, driven mainly by higher food prices and increased electricity rates. It also notes that core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, is likely to trend higher as reconstruction efforts get underway, particularly as much of the rebuilding will be financed through external sources. Sagicor Bank will officially reopen its Black River branch later this morning, restoring banking services.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show for yet another Saturday morning. Like, share, subscribe. Everybody on the channel, share it right now, because we are going to be joined by Ralston Hyman and Conrad O'Brien right away. Because this thing here, I tell you no. When we're telling us Ralston are the greatest, it's not joke. He is indeed the greatest, the best financial analyst in the place. I tell you no, none of them can test Ralston. They can run off the mouth all they want, but they can't test him. You had a what? You had a dream that one day, what? Eh. The administration reach out to Raleigh. They ought to. Yeah. Wow. So they might reach out to Raleigh. Mm-hmm. So you do what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. That sound good. They need to. They need to. Peeps, Ralston been telling us that the we are the calculating the GDP was totally wrong. And you know what I find, peeps? What I find is that they are now putting forward the same things them were Raleigh been saying. They are putting them forward now. Raleigh morning.
Morning.
Yeah, morning.
As me telling the people that early this morning, we're going to have Ralston and Obi on the show. Early. And before morning, gentlemen, welcome morning to Portland Spice TV.
Morning.
Good morning, Colin, and good morning to your Raleigh. Good morning to all your viewers and listeners.
Welcome. Before we go any further though, I must play this clip here. Before we go any further, I must play this clip here from the PIOJ, because when Raleigh spoke earlier, a whole heap of vloggers and bloggers was running off their mouth saying that Raleigh get it wrong and we are spread false news and all manner of garbage they were talking. But I want them listen to this before we start any discussion this morning.
The Planning Institute of Jamaica Agency is conducting a detailed assessment of the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa to the Jamaican economy. Director General of the PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, along with government ministers Matthew Samuda and Floyd Green, yesterday toured sections of St. Elizabeth ravaged by the storm. In an interview with Radio Jamaica News, Dr. Henry disclosed the PIOJ is still collecting data to determine the extent of the damage to the economy.
You know, there's a National Disaster Council, a Disaster Risk Management Council, chaired by the Prime Minister, with 7 committees of council. PIOJ chairs the Recovery Planning Committee. And so we've activated that intense, that detailed damage assessment. So we've had preliminary assessments that told us it's about 8.8 billion US is the sort of physical damage. The teams on the ground now is doing a detailed assessment where we do what we call ground truthing. We go and interview people. We look at the physical damage, and then we add also what we call economic losses. People have lost revenue, lost incomes, industries that have collapsed, and building back. We are factoring that in, and so we'll get a true sense of the full picture. So, for example, when we say Hurricane Beryl cost the country $57 billion, it was a result of that in detailed damage assessment.
Dr. Henry also disclosed that overseas experts are assisting the PIOJ in the assessment exercise.
So we got support from our UN partners, again, international partners. We have a tremendous team on the ground in Jamaica, over 30 agencies, experts trained, led by the PIOJ, trained to do this damage assessment in what we call the damage and loss methodology, and also post-disaster needs methodology, needs assessment. So we've been employing those tools, but because of the magnitude, we've had to bring in and incorporate support from outside. So I have a team of about 30 experts who came also and came through these same areas and interviewed people, did a lot of footage, underground interviews, etc. So we hope to have that early in the year, just to give a full sense of what that is, and that will inform more intense recovery planning. As the Prime Minister said, that recovery phase has started already, but then in terms of as we go forward into the medium term, to have those details included.
Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry.
So that was Dr. Wayne Henry. And I have one more clip to play before we start the discussion, gentlemen. Because Raleigh, I'm not here in Ralston. Obi?
Yes, I'm here.
Raleigh, where you there? Or Raleigh, mute. You mute, Raleigh? Unmute your mic, Raleigh. If you're trying to talk, unmute. The producer just tell me that she had a dream last night that you got a call from the administration. Oh, the administration was calling out for you, Raleigh. And Natalie.
Calling for me?
Yes, Natalie said she had a dream last night that the administration was calling for you to come help them. So she's saying that when you get the call, you must remember say she first get the dream. I have one more clip to play from the Bank of Jamaica people, because you see, we have to have the receipts, because we know not the misinformation. Listen to the Bank of Jamaica now.
The Bank of Jamaica has again held its benchmark interest rate at 5.75% per annum, marking the third consecutive decision to leave rates unchanged. The central bank says the economic impact of Hurricane Melissa has been more severe than initially expected and could result in greater inflationary pressure in the months ahead. According to the Bank of Jamaica, damage to roads, buildings, the electricity grid, and other infrastructure is estimated at about 40% of gross domestic product. Damage to the agricultural sector alone is estimated at roughly 50% of its 2024 GDP. The bank has warned that headline inflation is expected to rise above its target range of 4 to 6% over the coming months, driven mainly by higher food prices and increased electricity rates. It also notes that core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, is likely to trend higher as reconstruction efforts get underway, particularly as much of the rebuilding will be financed through external sources. Sagicor Bank will officially reopen its Black River branch.
All right. Raleigh, you heard those two clips. Your comment.
Well, what we have is what we call the PIOT is going to do a damage and loss assessment, right? But before we go that, we want the people know. One of the reasons why the international economists said the debt to GDP is misleading in order to calculate the well-being of the country after a disaster is because the debt to GDP only measure the government's debt over the GDP at a particular point in time. They don't measure the assets that have been lost. So what the man will tell them to know, we have to do two things. One, we have to calculate the total damage of the assets lost, what they call it the national balance sheet approach, where you look at all of the assets that have been destroyed, plus the economic losses, because using just the government debt over GDP gives a misleading picture. So what am I going to do? They might do two things. So apart from using the debt to GDP, they might do what we call use the national balance sheet measure to get a full cost of the damage to the economy, right? So that is where the man them tell them to do, because using debt to GDP alone is misleading, because the debt to GDP only measure the government debt over the value of the economy at a particular point in time. What the man must say, you have to do a full damage assessment so we can fully assess the damage to the economy. Because if you did a full balance sheet assessment, you'd actually say the danger of the damage to the economy is far worse than the GDP I represent. And it means that you have to mislead yourself and you have to mislead the world as to the extent of the damage. So the full damage assessment will include the damage to your building, the damage to private sector building, the damage to infrastructure, which tells you how bad the country has been hit and the real signs of poverty that is in the country. So the debt to GDP is just a fiscal measure, a financial measure where the international ratings agencies them use. It don't give the full impacts of the damage. So if we use the national balance sheet approach, it means that the damage to the entire economy would be like 46% of GDP. That would be the economic losses as well as the damage to infrastructure, which them still counting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have two accounts. I'm going to still tell the ratings agencies them say the debt to GDP as measured by all them good things is only 60% because them only affect the lost production. Them now look on the damaged assets where you need to go back and start production again.
But Raleigh, can they go to the IMF with that kind of argument, with that figure?
Well, based on how the IMF system and the UN system calculated, that is what I use, and that is why the top economists them say that system never change because we are misleading themselves, or not mislead the agency, or it's like a fool's paradise because it don't tell you about the real damage to the country. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So why is it then, Raleigh, that the Bank of Jamaica said that the effect on Jamaica's economy is 41%, 40%?
That is what I'm trying to tell you. The effect on the economy and the society is 40%. But because in the accounting system they use, a misleading accounting system, them only check the flow of production during a particular quarter or a particular year.
Right.
So what am I saying to yourself? The damage done in relation to GDP of last year and this year is only the economic losses them are measured. Yeah. So while that's why I use the economy. So if you look on the economy in general, remember, so the government are just one actor in the economy. The one to explain so that the chosen understand. The government participation in the economy prior to the hurricane was only 36% of the economy. I want you to follow what I said here.
Yes.
And that 36% include the payments for the debt. So the government only represent part of the economy. So the debt to GDP ratio only represent part of the economy. It only represents the government's accounts in relation to the debt. So the government borrow the debt in our name, but it only relates to the government accounts, right?
So the government participation is a third.
Rather than, yeah, that is why we use the word economy rather than GDP. Because government is only 1/3 of the economy. So it's a misleading figure if you just use the government's account alone and say it can represent the entire economy.
But doesn't the
I want to get me.
Yeah, but doesn't GDP represent the entire economy?
Yeah, but the GDP, yeah, man, go ahead. So the GDP represent the entire economy, but it only represents the value of production. Them not putting the value of the assets that is used for production in it.
Oh, so
yeah, so that's very yeah.
But you're saying that need to change, and the top economists are saying that you need to change that.
Jeffrey Sachs, Joe Stiglitz, Amartya Sen, and the man from the Philippines said that to change because you mislead yourself and I mislead the people.
Colin.
Yes, Obi, go ahead.
Yeah, let me come in. Raleigh morning.
Morning.
Can you guys mute when you're not speaking because it's actually make broadcast a little bit fuzzy. All right. Listen, I want to start this way, Colin and Raleigh. Ralston worked for one of the largest media houses, not just in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean, the Blina Arja Communication Group. I am wondering if they recognize, and by extension, the people of Jamaica and the government recognize the gem that we have in Ralston Hyman? It's a question that needs to be asked, in my view, because here it is, and Raleigh has been gracious. He mentioned those persons who said, this is the way to go. But let's face it, Colin, we have been out here for weeks with the guru, Ralston Hyman, who have been pointing out these things to the government. Now, Dr. Wayne Henry and the government move now to say that they went into the field in St. Elizabeth and so on to do what Ralston Hyman had been positing for weeks now. So here we are. Is it that because Ralston was saying it meant nothing? But now that the international bodies said, they have to be running up and down to get it, because from day one, we knew that this was the correct way to do it, because there's no way that you will be able to get the proper measurement if you exempt the tools of production, which is what Ralston have been saying for weeks now. And we have to underscore that in a big way, Colin and Raleigh. That's my opening comments.
Raleigh, unmute and come in.
Yeah, if you not check the full damage, then you have to mislead yourself as to what is needed for the recovery process. So take, for example, if we bring it down to a simple situation. So, all right, Colin, you are running your business, the hurricane come and mash up your place, right? If you only check the income where you lose, and you not check the computer them where you lose and your billing where you lose, you have to mislead yourself as to what you need for recovery now. So you're living in a fool's paradise. So that man must say you have to check the full thing. Yeah? So what am I do? I'll keep 2 books. I'll keep 1 book will tell you about the full damage, and then still have to use them only government debt to GDP measure to measure the debt to GDP ratio, which is misleading themselves. Because the man must say, when you take the balance sheet approach, yeah, you are going to know whether you can pay X amount of debt and how much borrowing you can sustain. Because you know how poor you are. So right now, the debt to GDP ratio is not telling the country how poor the country is, because it totally eliminates the 8.8 billion in our wealth that has been destroyed by the hurricane. I wonder if you follow me.
Following you clearly, Raleigh. Continue.
Yeah, man. So we are poorer than they are telling the country. They are poorer than they are telling the international people, because you just had 8.8 billion and climbing, because as the DOJ said, they've not done the assessment yet. We never got back in the field. Yeah. So when you use the 60%, you mislead yourself and you mislead the world as to how poor you are.
But aren't they also trying to lie to the Jamaican people, Raleigh? Because
you mislead yourself, you mislead the people of Jamaica, you mislead the world. That's how poor they are.
But why, Raleigh? Why did the Minister of Finance on the 2nd of December told the Prime Minister that the country's GDP is $20 billion US?
I'm not telling you why she tell him that. The reason that she tell him that is because she's not putting in the whole thing about the damage to the economy. So that is why she tell him that, because as I said, all them calculate the thing, them only put the government debt over GDP. Them now look on the broader economy, private sector debt.
But hold on, Raleigh. Hold on a little bit. Forget private sector. Because what that says to me, 5.3%, that means the government aspect of things, we only lose $1 billion, the government only lose $1 billion US. That should be correct?
No, what I must say is that the economy in general lose only $1 billion because them only measure the production. Remember, as we're saying, GDP only measure the production for a period of time. It now look on the stock of assets. It now look on that. It doesn't ignore. You follow? Yeah.
But then that would be foolhardy.
Of course, it's foolhardy and misleading. That's why Sachs and the man has to change that now, because you're not misleading yourself.
So, Raleigh and Colin.
Go ahead.
Raleigh, we were you came up with a number of 115%. The minister basically poo-pooed that and said it was 68%. Know that this proper measurement is asked to be done by the international bodies. How will this look in regard to the minister's figure?
No, that's the point I'm making. What am I do? Right? What am I do? I end up, I'll keep 2 books now. So I'll keep 1 book, will show you the full assessment of the damage so that the man then can assess what is needed and how much he can pay and what is needed for fix back the place. Right? Then, and then I'm going to have this other book now, what am I say? Based on the debt of the country, which is the word of government borrowing the name of the country, and the GDP at that particular point in time. This is the debt to GDP ratio, which is a flawed analysis because it will tell you about the wealth of the country or poor the country is. Because if you lose infrastructure, that is almost 40% of your GDP. It shows you how poor you are.
So when we add that, Raleigh, when we look.
If we added that, it would come up to 115%, which would be the correct way to measure it.
Absolutely.
Hold on, Colin.
Absolutely. So,
but
do you believe?
Go ahead.
Do you believe that we will get that kind of admission from the government, or in order to keep on their trajectory, they will use using the 2-book approach?
No, they might use the 2-book approach. They might use the 2-book approach. Yeah, man. I still say that the GDP is 68%, although them know say 40% of the country's wealth is wiped out. Yeah, man. It's a misleading. It's a game of make believe.
So,
yeah. So again, we'll bring it back to an individual. So you, OB, you are work, right? The hurricane come and disrupt it. So you used to get $100 for your pay. The hurricane come and disrupt it, and you are tell yourself, say, boy, yeah, the 5%, we lose 5% of my pay. So I'm going down to $95, right? But you'd be fooling yourself now and think, say, that is only your problem because your house where they built for $10 million completely destroyed. Your car where you buy for $2 million completely destroyed. And you can't function without replacing them things there. I wonder if you understand that will affect your ability to earn income in the future because you're not mobile, you're not living away. You get the rest to say you can't go to work. Yeah, you're not a car for drive, go to work. Yeah. So if you tell yourself that you only lose the $5, you mislead yourself and you mislead the creditor. That is why every company, apart from the profit and loss statement, every company have what we call a balance sheet. That is what I tell you how rich or how poor you are.
Absolutely, Raleigh. I started out in a particular point and I noticed you basically ignore your opening comment because you're a modest man. I said that you work with one of the largest media groups, not just in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean. Have they acknowledged how powerful a person you are, Raleigh? Because here it is, all that the international bodies is saying no. You have been saying this for weeks, Ralston.
Well, you know, them really don't understand. So you have to go ask someone like Dr. Peter Phillips that. You have to go ask the people from the IMF. Because when they do a run there for the IMF from EPOC, the IMF man say, yo, chat to the foolishness, because I understand the thing more than one. Yep, so, yep.
Okay.
You don't know Jamaica, right?
All right, Raleigh. Important for me to get that one in.
Yeah, man.
Raleigh.
That is why Peter Phillips should recommend with the national honor.
Oh.
Okay.
Because one of the most successful finance minister and he was the right hand man. By John them man, Peter Phillips make them man the prominent enough by putting them on EPOC.
Same so.
Yep.
Raleigh, the Bank of Jamaica this week decides to maintain their interest rate instead of bringing it down. What do you have to say about that?
Very bad decision. What the governor are focused on, I'm focused on the wrong thing. I'm going to explain it again. In our economics, we have something we call the identity of exchange. Yeah? It's a simple equation where them says money times velocity. So when you hear the man on the road say no money now road, it means that the velocity of money has slowed down. Yeah? Enough money now circulate, right? And then they have the next thing where them call prices and the amount of goods and services we are produced. Key in the equation of the price and Q in the equation of the quantity. Whenever an economy is below capacity, like how them say, Melissa wipe out a part of the economy, right? The way to get the economy back on track is to put more money in the system so that interest rates can get lower, so that businesses, all them businesses where I get affected, small business and all of them can go back now and get money for borrow, buy back machinery and start production again. Because if the economy low output, it's hard for inflation continue to accelerate over a long period of time. So what the economy gets is a supply shock. It's not a demand shock because people don't have no money already. What happens is because supplies fall, and that's why the prices might increase, particularly in the agricultural sector. Now, to get that up and running, you need to get the farmers them money. You need to get the farmers them infrastructure, fix back them roads. So that's the government's approach. The government's approach is supposed to be fixing the man them back the infrastructure, fix back the bridge them, fix back the road them. And the central bank's approach is to make the man them have affordable credit.
Yes.
You follow me? I said here, there's nowhere in the world where you have the economy drop significantly and the central bank has said, boy, we have a focus for inflation rather than growth. Yeah. But even at the bottom of the communique when send out, you must say, oh, boy, inflation could be lower now because the people don't have any money. So may I tell you, the one them get caught up in this neoliberal economic philosophy where them don't fully understand economics, real economy. So although we have the hurricane, them still take the same approach to them they take before will cause the hurricane to inflict significant damage on the country.
So, Ola, you are saying they caused the hurricane to inflict significant damage on the country?
Yeah, man, I'm saying that without apology.
How so?
How so? Because them overpaid the debt by 115 billion and never intended.
Go again, Raleigh. You dropped out a while ago. Raleigh? We lost Ralston a while ago. But Raleigh, you're back. Unmute.
Yeah, man. You hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, man. You hear me?
Yes, man. We hearing you.
Saying to you. Yeah, because over the last 10 years, they've consistently paid the debt faster than program for and never invest in the country's infrastructure. And that is why you have the infrastructural damage that them still uphold. Because if you're not investing in the country's infrastructure in a situation where you have significant climatic events or take place, you have always be affected more than you need to be affected. In other words, if you have more concrete house down at Westmoreland and them place, you don't have them significant damage in them. If them they are trained the river, then
that is it.
Yeah, if them they are trained the river them properly, most of them river they overflow them banks, you know. If the drain them they are maintained and are clean and all of them things, you have a significant flooding that we're talking about. And those are the problems because them never invested in those things. So it's not the hurricane per se. It's the inadequacy of the investments in infrastructure why you pay the debt and why you pay the debt faster than you paid for because of the same thing, the same flawed financial metric of GDP. The more I get a debt to GDP ratio down to 60%, please the International Rating Agency while underspending on the country's infrastructure and make the country vulnerable.
Raleigh, hold on, Obi, because I am disagreeing with Raleigh on one point here. The point about the governor of the Bank of Jamaica maintaining the interest rate. I am in agreement with the BOJ governor, and I tell you why, Raleigh. The BOJ has reduced rate 5 times or 7 in recent years between last year and this year. The commercial banks in Jamaica has not passed on that reduction to the people of Jamaica.
All right.
So if they are not passing it on, Raleigh, why should the governor continue to reduce the rate? I agree with the governor.
All right, watch me now. The primary role of the central bank is to control the money supply at a level that is consistent with the highest employment possible. Break it down simple. The Bank of Jamaica's governor's most responsibility is to ensure that there's the amount of money in the system to keep the system producing at the highest level. That's what. In second responsibility is to supervise all of the deposit institutions and including the commercial banks. Now, if me a year supervisor and me do something, and for almost a year you not follow what me do, that means me must have some instrument that me can use for bringing in line. Unless me's a poor supervisor, the governor of the Bank of Jamaica has been consistently telling the world that the man in the banking system not respect him. Them not do it. Them not do what him tell them to do. Because remember, the rate is a signal rate, you know. When him do that rate, him send them a signal, say you must go down. Now, if me are your supervisor and me tell you to do something and I do it, me must have something to make you do it. Additionally, the Minister of Finance is in charge of the entire economy, right? And the Minister of Finance know that the economy needs lower interest rates in order to grow faster, particularly in times of a disaster like we are now. Now, if the Bank of Jamaica reduce interest rates for over a year and the banks have not do nothing, the Minister of Finance and the Governor of the Bank of Jamaica have the power for calling me and say, yo, how come we're sending a signal to do that in the interest of the entire country? The minister must say, yeah, the people of Jamaica vote me in to make sure say them have the highest level of production and the highest level of employment. Yeah? Me run the thing. So you want to do that, or if you not do that, this is where me I got do. That is why Julian Robinson said, if him to become finance minister, he would have moved the government deposits from the two oligopolies who are taking over the role of the government and the Bank of Jamaica, namely NCB and BNS, and put it in the smaller banks them so that them couldn't hold everybody to ransom. Simply put, BNS and NCB control the bulk of the deposits, the bulk of the loans, and the bulk of the assets in the banking system. And no bank can move unless them give them a signal for move. Yeah? The governor of the Bank of Jamaica and the Minister of Finance have the power to bring them in line. So the fact that them can't bring the man them in line means that them not do the work properly. And you can't tell the people of Jamaica say, although we're paying so much money, between them two people there's almost 70 million happy. Although we're paying so much money, only can't get them money to behave themselves in a way that the country benefit. That means them not do them jobs properly. So don't tell me that. Yeah?
I'll say one more thing before Obi come in. This Andrew Holness-led administration cannot and they dare not call the banks to order. They cannot do it because the banks have them in their pockets.
Precisely. That's the point we're making. So that is what people of Jamaica pay for. They must pay for our government that you vote for, which allow the banking sector to run the country. Simple.
Go ahead, Obi.
That's right.
What can the people of Jamaica that vote the government in, what pressure can they bring to bear on the governor of the Bank of Jamaica to move in accordance with rules that would benefit the people? Because here it is, under normal circumstance, I would agree with Colin and the governor keeping the rate. Had the government not had a lever to basically push to get the bank. So the government failing to do that, what should happen to the governor and what role does the people of Jamaica have? Who this policy that is being pursued by the government is being inimical to the people and by extension the overall Jamaican society?
Yeah, I'm glad there is that question, you know, because nobody never vote. Nobody ever votes for the governor. The people voting for the government, including the finance minister. So it is the finance minister's responsibility to go to the parliament and to put measures in place so that the governor can use those things to control the people. Yeah? So it's back to the government. It has nothing to do with the governor. The governor, the people, the minister hasn't given the governor the tools that are necessary. And when Fitzjackson went to the parliament to try and get the tools that are necessary, the government in entire man then vote against it.
That is it.
So what happened is that the people gave the power to the government and the government turned over the people's power to the banking sector.
Banks.
Simple.
Yep. My God. Simple. Absolutely. Raleigh. Colin, just before you come back.
Hold on. Just 1 sec. If you're just joining us, we have online Jamaica's and the Caribbean #1 financial analyst, Ralston Iman. And he's also a talk show host on Power 106 FM, Mondays to Fridays, Real Business, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We also have Conrad O'Brien on the line, talk show host on New Start 93 FM, Mondays to Thursdays, 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And we're discussing Jamaica's economy. What we are saying to you people, the Jamaican economy is not in good health and it is not in safe hands. Go ahead, Obi.
Thanks, Colin. No, Raleigh. You posited the view earlier that we're in this state of panic, according to the late Ezra Milone. The state of a state of panic as it relates to the economy.
I don't know how just understand this thing. Ezra said it on the Breakfast Club. So nobody people are up them out and say them are told. Them they're not more than this year. He was talking to Tony. He was talking to the late Tony Abrams and Beverly Manley.
And Tony Abrams was MP for East Portland and Minister of Tourism. I mash up East Portland.
Under the Edward Siaga-led government.
Right, and the Breakfast Club was on Obi's station, New Start 93.
Absolutely. So now listen. They Raleigh, as I said, they're in a state of panic. So why we are where we are now, because the investment in the infrastructure did not happen. Now, we understand that the government is sitting down on about $112 billion. This is not including those grants and those donations that we understand is with the various agencies and so on.
Right.
What should the government do now to get things going in earnest with this $112 billion that they're sitting down?
Well, I'm sure I start already. The fact of the matter is that we are late. We are now in December and not started. So it means the decline in the economy and the suffering will continue for a longer period than is necessary because they haven't moved promptly. So, for example, the financial secretary, although them get this whole money, them still cut the capital budget. The same nonsense that them there go on before the hurricane, and the same nonsense them continue. So think about it. We have two institutions that run the country. We have the Bank of Jamaica, which control the money supply and the reserves, and the Ministry of Finance, which control the budget. And the two of them are take money out of the system. So tell me how the system will recover. What do? Make the people them wait and beg them people foreign remittances. Remittances are under pressure right now because of the way the dollar operate. So the recovery is going to take longer than necessary, and the people are going to suffer more than them needs to suffer, and it may cause a revolt. So the people are going to get angry now because of pressure. Imagine Christmas come, you're not in a house, you're not in a bed, you're not in money, yeah? The people are finding that send money from me, they must say, dollar pressure with dollar rate, we start to work, and all of them something. Then the ones them who can send it, food prices in America high, then they have to pay taxes for remittances. You know, it's a madness, the money.
Let me hold on. Anybody out there have a question for Raleigh?
Hello?
Hold on, Raleigh. Anybody out? Yeah,
Hello?
hold on, Raleigh. I know you weren't hearing me. Sorry about that. Anybody out there have a question for Raleigh? Call me on 876-804-7072. We're taking your calls. Ralston, we see you mentioned the Donald a while ago, and all indications are pointing that the Donald is ready to do something in Venezuela. What effect would that have on the Jamaican economy if that happened?
So this is not the whole Caribbean. Remember, so the Caribbean is a zone of peace and the whole thing about tourism. So the tourism sector, which has been badly hit, no matter where your Minister Bartlett attack, I'll get a bigger hit. And tourism are the second largest earner of foreign exchange in our country. So that is going to create a bigger problem. Yeah? So that's not good. I can drive up food prices too. So it's another leak that. So tourism earnings are go up. So that's less foreign exchange. And then we have to spend more foreign exchange to buy oil. So that's another drain. So we'll spend more foreign exchange to buy oil. We'll spend more foreign exchange to buy food. We'll have to spend more foreign exchange to buy raw materials. While at the same time, the foreign exchange earning sectors will go down. So we're going to under more pressure. So like a foreign exchange that we have to borrow, it will just go right back out. And we'll just have a whole heap of debt, whole heap more debt, and a smaller GDP.
Good. I want to suggest two quick things, Raleigh and Colin. Yesterday, well, first of all, I am positive of you that I don't think that the Donald is going to basically pounce on Venezuela because of the posture of the Russian strongman Vladimir, and also the position that China is taking in supporting Venezuela. I think there will be a cessation on that. But I want to also just bring this. Yesterday, I stopped at one of the remittance place, to pay a bill. And I can tell you, I walked in that place and I was out in a minute. And I was very, very surprised. And I said to myself, it seems as if approaching Christmas, something is going on. Because under normal circumstances, Raleigh, Colin, and listeners, those places would be filled with people a day like yesterday.
Oh my God. My bad, people. My bad. Hold on. I did something a while ago. Let me just get back Raleigh and Obi online. I totally disconnected them. Let me just get them back online because I disconnected the main call. That's what I did. How do I get this back going? Oh gosh. My bad. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Let me just get them back online. I don't know how. I picked up my hand, was going too close to that button a long time ago,
Yeah,
man.
Spending the money that them get in the economy to get the thing up and running, because the remittance flows are not going to be sustainable.
Hold on, Raleigh. Hold on, Obi.
I'll go one for.
Hold on, Obi. I have a call. Go ahead, call. I have a question for Ralston.
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ralston, I hear you bring some stuff up there, and I just need some clarity. And I tie the knots and the dots together. First, you recall where the World Bank lady, when she did that assessment, she adamantly and explicitly said she did an economic assessment. She did the infrastructure, which is residential and commercial, and she did the agricultural assessment. You recall that, Ralston?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, man.
And then when we listened to Favor, when she said the loan that we got, even from the Prime Minister, when he said they get that loan, the multilateral lenders, which are private lenders separate from IMF and World Bank, they are the ones that we have waiting out in the aisle there to lend Jamaica. However, the PISOJ, it's like from private company to company. And then they were talking something about even JPS involved in that sector or whatever, or earmark, whatever. My thing is, when you mentioned the balance sheet method, and I could put the GAP principles of full disclosure together, because the full balance sheet method tells us the full assets of the country, including every sector from manufacturing to seals, all of that sector, that's the asset. Then the liabilities, and then we have the equity, which shows, as you said, they were used that to do the GDP, the thing to GDP. So when I connect those dots together, you are saying clearly that this government has deliberately, maliciously lied, withhold the true economic state of Jamaica.
Yeah, man. That is why them tell we need to go back out of the field and measure the thing properly, use the balance sheet approach, because what they are doing is only using the government's approach in terms of how much money the government borrowed in our name in relation to the GDP. They are not looking at the full assessment, private sector, household to get the entire picture of the damage to the entire country.
So okay, so
all
that
the people,
means what they're telling us that we have to
Hold on,
pay
caller.
back.
Hold on, caller.
Okay.
All of the people who lose them house and them business, that is not calculated in the debt to GDP ratio.
That's why I called it, because
over 100,000 houses that were damaged and destroyed. Those calculations are not involved in the debt to GDP ratio.
But Colin, Ralston, that is why we are here now. You're hoping one can of worms here, because the replacement costs. The replacement cost for these residential and commercial infrastructure is gonna be way more than what is actually value right now, because the cost of material is up, the cost of labor is up, all of them they're up. So
hold on, caller. Go ahead, Raleigh.
Help me because my head swell.
You see this caller, Colin?
Yeah.
When I get the minister's job right now, because that's the money man them say you have to use the replacement cost of the buildings and the infrastructure that were damaged.
We have a new finance minister. Caller, what is your name?
Yeah. I knew
I can't tell you over the phone, Colin. Me and can text it in on me WhatsApp.
But I get the job because that's the man them say.
So you're saying that the government is not calculating.
I'll tell you.
The government not calculating the cost of rebuilding the country.
No, and that is why the man they tell them say, go out now the field, go measure about the things so that we can get a full assessment of the damage. We don't also want a debt to GDP ratio. Because the debt to GDP ratio only deal with the government's accounts. It now deal with the impact on private people and them things there. The house them have to build back, and the road them have to build back, and the bridge them have to build back, and them things there. So we have to know, because what the man must say, the national balance sheet methodology tells you exactly what you're going to need to rebuild the country. The debt to GDP ratio not telling you that. It's an underestimate that only deal with the government. Remember, the government only 36% of the economy. So one of them people who use them, leaves them houses in Westmoreland, them not get poorer. Them not have to find money for rebuild them house. One of them big bridge that we have to go replace. Yeah? One of them hospital that we have to go replace.
Hold on, Raleigh. Go ahead, Obi.
Yeah, while the caller is on, I think he's still there. I want to put this to Raleigh. The Portia Simpson Miller, former Prime Minister, one would remember a favorite line from her. The government is wicked and uncaring. That was a line that she used while she was opposition leader. Now, Colin, I'm asking you the question. How much of what we are seeing by way of governance is wicked and uncaring versus incompetence?
Go ahead, Raleigh. Answer that.
Well, I mean, that's a combination of both. Them uncaring and them incompetent.
I want to show you an example of the wickedness and uncaringness of this government. A man spent 50 years in prison, never got to trial. The judge ordered that the government should pay him $120 million. And this wicked and uncaring government is challenging that. How? They're challenging that.
Bad mind.
Caller, wrap up for me. Let me get the caller a final bite of the cherry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So Ralston, so with this that we just highlighted, with the foreign investors and even the same World Bank and IMF, you realize now that they are seeing that they're probably going to hold back the money or any lending right now without they get the full, clear assessment, the correct assessment of the real damage, not them as estimated.
They don't get it yet.
Real damage on the ground.
They hold there looking it. They don't
I
get
don't
it
think
yet.
they trust them, Ron. I don't think they we favor behavior because they watch things, you know. I think they're pulling back because I was watching the UN where that man who is in charge of the Caribbean thing, and everybody walk out when he was giving a interim assessment or whatever of what happened. Everybody walk out yesterday or the day before. Yesterday, me watching it. They walk out, you know.
What was that?
This was the we can't remember his name, Pulley, whatever name, the black British man or whatever, who is in charge of the UN in the UN for the Caribbean where damage and all that. He's the person in charge of it, the director of whatever. And he was giving a report. I think it was, if it wasn't yesterday, it was Thursday. I can't remember the day. But they walk out, everybody walk out. It was only him on the screen and he was doing it like a Zoom. He was on screen and they walk out.
Oh, we have to check.
Nobody never sit down there listen to him.
Send me the link to that. Let me see what you're talking about. All right,
me
Colin.
see if me find it back on me thing. But Ralston, you really have to be candid with me here. If you were in the lenders and the IMF, wouldn't you be kind of hold back a bit until you get everything clear and correct on the table before you release the money?
Unmute Ralston. Rally's on mute. So as soon as he unmute, he will be able to answer that.
All right. So
yeah, why
up then, Colin.
That? You never decided to do that on report. The man them send them back going to the field for do a proper assessment of the damage. Because the man them say if you do a proper assessment of the damage, we won't know how much money that is needed to fix the country.
So
okay. Yes, I didn't hear that part. So that means they did.
What the caller is saying,
yeah,
Rally.
I'm saying that you never say I'm going to the field voluntarily. If you notice, same I go with international people because what the man them say, we need to get a proper assessment so that we can know how much money is needed to fix the problem.
No, what the caller was saying, Rally, would they, if you were the IMF, until they come with correct figures and proper data, would you release funds to Jamaica?
So why I think he might do it now? That's the point I'm making to you because next year the man have plans to release the funds. Why think he say go back to the field now?
Right.
Because the man want a proper assessment of the damage before they release the money.
And it's January the negotiations really start.
Yeah. That's why I'm under pressure now for saying I go out to the field. You think him get up and say I do that voluntarily? That's why you tell you say, oh, we have the assistance of the international people. It's a push from the international people and say, yo, we'll go back and deal with that thing properly. Yep.
All right, caller, thank you very much.
Yes, Colin. Thank you so much, Ralston. Thank you.
Blessings, money. Yeah,
man. 876-804-7072. Rally. The bank is mopping up liquidity.
Colin?
You hear me, Rally?
Colin?
Yeah, Obi.
Yeah, Colin, I hear.
Go ahead, Obi. Go ahead.
You say, Colin, I like to stay on point. And I'm going to drive it home until the cows come home to the moon. Ralston Hyman, one of the finest, if not the finest, not just in Jamaica, but in the Caribbean, as it relates to economic matters. Had the government acted when Raleigh spoke, when we had Raleigh and Raleigh on his program and so on, and elsewhere, mentioning these things to the government, we would be far down the wicket now, Colin. However, this is how these guys operate. They don't move when they get proper instruction and from people who are in the know right here. But once the international body say they are running out all over the place. Here it is, Colin. You have been saying that they should be calling in Raleigh, or they should have called in Raleigh. And say, Raleigh, we need help. Just imagine how far along the trajectory we would be now had the government basically come down at their pumps and pride and accept the reason and the advice that come from Ralston Island.
Instead of doing that, hold on, Raleigh. Instead of doing that, this is what the finance minister said. Hold on.
About projection of 68% for debt to GDP. How do I compare that to the 41% wipeout of GDP? The 41% member is a measure of the damage relative to your GDP. It doesn't mean 41% of your GDP is wiped out, right? It's measurement versus the GDP for 2024. I gave you what our projection is for this fiscal year in which we are. And going into the next fiscal year, we're expecting the growth in GDP to resume. So I know there are some persons out there who made the mistake of just taking the 41%, piling it on top of the debt to GDP currently and said, oh my God, the world is falling. But that's not how it's done. That just tells me that there's a lack of understanding about the fiscal numbers, about how you calculate debt to GDP, what do you include and what do you not. So there's some work to be done.
So if the minister understand it, hold on, caller, if the minister understand it so clearly, we are asking the trolls and the people who are watching the channel on behalf of the government. Ask Faval, why is the PIOJ back in the field now doing over the assessment if she understands it so much? We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, good morning. Ralston, are you good?
No, man, Ralston hearing you.
All right. So I have a question for Ralston because yesterday, I think the Minister of Finance posted on our X account that S&P said that despite a significant hit to growth in the near term, they need to fund rebuilding Jamaica's solid institutions and prepare for external shocks. In addition to extended economic rebound support the country.
Colin, you're breaking up a little bit. We'll lost a little of what you were saying.
All right. So basically, we're saying that S&P released an article to say that Jamaica's outlook is revised to stable from positive. BB long-term rating.
When
the finance minister was
S&P said that.
About that. The article was released on December 18.
Raleigh.
Yeah, man, that's right. When they move from positive to stable, it's a backward move because they are recognizing that your ability to service your debt is going to come out of some problem because the economy is in decline. So that's why they're moving from positive to stable. And that is why they put many countries and many agencies in Jamaica what them call ratings watch negative because it means them are downgrade you because of the adverse economic situation.
Because I was reading the article, and it never looked too positive to me either, So I wonder why she come about that, That's why I bring the question to you, because I really don't understand what it is.
Go ahead, Raleigh.
Yeah, man, that's why I'm saying. So I said the reason why them do that is because they see that they are under economic adversity. They are getting poorer. So that's why they move from positive to stable. And when they get from positive to stable, then they watch you and see how the results go and see how the economy are rebound before they move again. So what that moving from positive to stable is a signal that they are going to have a problem, and then they watch it. If the problem is resolved quickly, then they will downgrade it.
All right, caller. Any other question?
No. Thank you. The more you know.
Thanks very much. Raleigh, the government is saying that the Jamaican dollar is stable. The dollar is stable at what cost to the taxpayers of Jamaica?
Well, almost 900 million US dollars and 139 billion Jamaican.
900 million Jamaican and
900 million US dollars and 139 billion Jamaican dollars. So 900 million US from the reserves and 139 billion Jamaican dollars.
139 billion and 900 million US.
Yeah, man. And even IMF tell them, say, not intervene in the market too frequently. That's not how a real market is supposed to operate.
So the market is not, again, operating purely as a market-driven market.
No, because IMF intervened on the market 32 times since the start of this year. So that is like 3 times every month or somewhere thereabouts.
32 times. Obi, we're not going to keep
Yeah.
Raleigh much longer. Raleigh did tell me that him have
Yeah,
things
man.
to do.
Good.
So
Good.
go
So
ahead,
let me
Obi.
let me just put this to Raleigh. The BOJ had basically developed a pattern of intervening with 30 million US to somewhat stabilize the dollar. We have seen where the trajectory has basically changed, where they intervene with 40. What that means and how do we look concluding the year in terms of money supply for the Christmas season?
Yeah, well, that is what I said. That is what I continue to tell the government. They are intervening with 30 million, like say, I've got to intervene with 30 million. And the man just predict and take away 30 million every day because they can't predict that 30 million are coming. So, for example, he come with 30 million today, and the man wants 60 million, and he come back with 30 million tomorrow. Rather than come with 60 and stop them. Now, I'm seeing start change. Now I move from 30 to 40. So, when they tell them the things, them wait and Jim speech and do it when them think you forgot about it because they're full of pride and then something. Yeah? So that is why the interventions have not been successful.
Jim speech, you think I go on?
Yeah, it's
All
not going to shock and high.
I
Right?
have
Now
two
them say
questions.
them put,
Go ahead, Raleigh. Finish.
yeah. Now them say them are add 21 billion to the money supply, but then take out $36 billion on Wednesday. Yeah, so gone in a negative. So we don't know if them are add some more money in another week to try and come back to the
They add 25
billion
and then they take out 36.
Yeah,
So
them 21. Them say them are add 31. Them say by December, the end of December 31st, them will have 21 billion additional in the system. Yeah, so they don't really put that in yet, but them take out 36 already. So unless them are pumping some more money this week.
But that makes a lot of sense, Raleigh.
No, because the governor still say my focus for inflation. That's the point that I make here. So I'm still take money from the system because I'm saying inflation is priority.
All right, I have two questions from the chat room. With all the relief money that this government got, why should the IMF release and lend us funds to Jamaica? While hold on, while the government have this money with them not even start spending it.
Yeah, because the recovery have a need more money than that. That is what I tell you the extent of the damage if you use the national balance sheet approach. Because the IMF money, the 415 million of the import, and them have to import a whole lot of stuff in order to deal with the problem. More food, more energy, all of that, while at the same time the foreign exchange sources are declining. So that the IMF money have to balance up payment money to pay for your imports in an environment where your exports are declining and you have to import money.
Raleigh, just quickly, 1 second. That import that you talk about, will that include the containerized houses?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Finally, Raleigh, from the chat room, somebody wants you to explain what is happening at Jamaica Broilers.
Well, what happens is that what the man them they are doing at the US, them record the revenues, but them never record the cost of generating revenues. Now remember, so when you run a big cost,
yes,
the profits, your gross profits are cost or the revenue that they generate minus the cost of goods sold. The man them never they record that I create a big fraud, and that is the problem why the auditors them coming from Jamaica Broilers and then but them start dealing with the problem now and them are recover. Them generate $1 billion of profits up to the last quarter. Yeah. So them are on top of things I'll try to get done. It was a huge fraud that take place where you record the revenues, but you never record the cost of generating the revenue. So it inflated the profits that you were making.
Okay. Anything you want to add before you leave, Raleigh?
Well, all I tell the man then say this approach where the government still not spend the capital budget and the Bank of Jamaica still take money from the system and send them a focus for inflation is wrong. The focus now more be on stimulation. So I tell the governor, well, I don't know about the minister, but I tell the governor, go back and read what happened at the Great Depression in the 1930s. Go back and read where Obama, Larry Summers, and them man doing at the Great Recession of 2008. Go back and read what the Fed do last week, and then he will so if you do. I'm down the wrong track right now.
So you're giving some guidance to the governor of the Bank of Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
But if the governor by himself can reduce the rate, right? Him don't need the finance minister.
No, but they need the finance minister to get to the banks and reduce the rate. So him can reduce the rate. The minister needs to help him to get the banks to respond. She have the power to go to the parliament and say, yo, this or that. Governor make laws in the parliament, and she make laws in the parliament.
And on this one,
Raleigh?
that all I know be, that's why on this one, I am sticking with the bank, with the governor. Because if the bank's not moving, it is the banks getting rich every time you cut interest rate and they don't move it. Don't Rally?
Yeah, but the minister and the government must get the banks to move. That's
So
why we
Andrew
employ them.
Holness and Fayeval
Yeah, man.
Williams must
Yeah, man.
get the
It's their
banks to move.
responsibility.
But I challenge
Yeah, man.
you,
They are
Ralston
the
Iman.
ones who are responsible.
I
Yeah.
challenge you as much as respect with me have for you. Me I bet you, Andrew Holness, nor Fayeval Williams, dare not,
No, that's what we man.
call the
We know
bank
that
them and
we
say
call it, we
nothing
know.
to them.
Yeah. So
They
the people,
can't,
so
they
the people are
can't
gonna suffer.
talk.
Yeah, so the people are gonna suffer with that. They want to see the action already, man. They might do that consistently for the last 10 years, support the banks and everything, man. We see that already. So the people have to pay a price for the decisions that they make. Simple.
What will be your final argument to Ralston? I will make him go.
Raleigh, a major chunk of the Jamaican economy is the agricultural sector. Based on the ravage of Hurricane Melissa, we know that we have lost a lot. So the import for, especially going into the Christmas season. How is that importation impacting the balance sheet? And what should the government be doing now to assist our farmers so that could form a part of the Great Recovery Program?
Everything that them should do. The governor said agriculture lose 50% of its value last year. The value of the agriculture, the real sector, the real value of agriculture last year after we subtract inflation was 140 billion. So what the governor said in real terms, the agricultural sector lost 70 billion Jamaican dollars. Right? And the agriculture contributes 35% of the inflation rate. So if you want to get the rate of inflation down, and you have to get the agricultural sector up and running as quickly as possible. So the man, they need seeds, they need tractor, they need a road for fix, and they need access to affordable capital.
They need money. All right. All right, Raleigh, give thanks. We talk again Monday.
Raleigh. All right, blessed love.
One
yeah,
love.
Obi, yeah.
Ralston
Thanks.
Iman.
All the best, Raleigh. Bless you.
Yeah, man, bless you.
Cool.
Ralston Iman, the #1 financial analyst in Jamaica, barring none. And I said to the Minister of Finance, you need to call Ralston Iman and get him to be one of your advisor. May I tell you that, Minister? All the
Colin, I can stay with you until 10:30 if needs be, if you want me to.
Not a problem. Let's open the phone. Let's welcome some more calls. 876-804-7072. Hold on, me have a voice note
Shaka,
here.
you see where Raleigh did I say, he knows that the cocksucker them always a do. That's
Jesus.
what them always a do. So him know what him a say. Respect to him.
Boy, I never play a next voice note before I listen to it. I apologize to the listeners and the viewers. And I hope you don't hear what him say. Obi.
Yeah.
I want to play back.
Yes, Raleigh. Yes, Colin.
I want to play back for
Colin?
my listeners. Yeah, man. I hear you,
Go
Obi.
ahead, man.
But I want to play back for my listeners. The PIOJ. Because when Raleigh first came out and talk about the debt to GDP, a lot of GLP bloggers and vloggers, and let me just remind my listeners that all of the GLP bloggers, all of them, excluding none, where you hear and defend the government, they are suffering from battered woman syndrome. This is what the PIOJ say.
The Planning Institute of Jamaica Agency is conducting a detailed assessment of the damage caused by Hurricane Melissa to the Jamaican economy. Director General of the PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry, along with government ministers Matthew Samuda and Floyd Green, yesterday toured sections of St. Elizabeth ravaged by the storm. In an interview with Radio Jamaica News, Dr. Henry disclosed the PIOJ is still collecting data to determine the extent of the damage to the economy.
There's a National Disaster Council, a Disaster Risk Management Council, chaired by the Prime Minister, with 7 committees of council. I chair, PIOJ chairs the Recovery Planning Committee. And so we have activated that intense, that detailed damage assessment. So we've had preliminary assessments that told us it's about 8.8 billion US is the sort of physical damage. The teams on the ground now is doing a detailed assessment where we do what we call ground truthing. We go and interview people. We look at the physical damage, and then we add also what we call economic losses. People have lost revenue, lost incomes, industries that have collapsed, and building back. We are factoring that in, and so we'll get a true sense of the full picture. So, for example, when you say Hurricane Beryl cost the country $57 billion, it was a result of that in detailed damage assessment.
Dr. Henry also disclosed that overseas experts are assisting the PIOJ in the assessment exercise.
So we got support from our UN partners, again, international partners. We have a tremendous team on the ground in Jamaica, over 30 agencies, experts trained, led by the PIOJ, trained to do this damage assessment in what we call the damage and loss methodology, and also post-disaster needs methodology, needs assessment. So we've been employing those tools, but because of the magnitude, we've had to bring in and incorporate support from outside. So I have a team of about 30 experts who came also and came through these same areas and interviewed people, did a lot of footage on the ground interviews, etc. So we hope to have that early in the year just to give a full sense of what that is, and that will inform more intense recovery planning. As the Prime Minister said, that recovery phase has started already, but then in terms of as we go forward into the medium term, to have those details included.
So,
Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, Dr. Wayne Henry. Thousands of farms,
that clip come to you courtesy of RGR News. We take that clip from. I want to thank them. Go ahead, Obi.
Colin, I tell you something. We have been calling for the government to acknowledge Ralston Hyman and to bring him on as a consultant, a part of the team, etc., etc. But, hindsight, a 2020 vision. And I am now thinking whether or not Ralston should even go. Because I am fearful that Ralston may get contaminated. Because one would say some time ago, Dr. Wayne Henry was a good youth. But it seems as if his involvement in the whole thing. And it's not just him alone. You have people that become a part of the administration that just find themselves talking a lot of nonsense and just get wayward. Another person, in my opinion, is the Minister of Education and Information, Dr. Dixon. Before she become a part of the government and learn the politics so quickly, she was a good, let me leave out that out because I still think she's a good girl. But, you understand exactly where I'm heading, Colin.
Yes.
Because you wonder. And here it is. You know what happened, Colin? What is so egregious is that these people, they never come and acknowledge and give credit to a local person such as Ralston Hyman, or yourself, or me, or others. But they will just basically go around in a circle and come and cow tongue to the international bodies, and they look so damn stupid because all that Dr. Henry said in that clip just yesterday, we have been saying it's led by a Ralston Hyman for weeks now. Not for days, for weeks.
Obi.
Bring in the caller, Colin. Bring in the caller.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good morning again.
Yeah, man.
Morning.
I just want to say, nowadays I'm coming to respect Mark Golden more and more every day. And it's reaching to a point where I'm getting proud to say I respect this man, considering all the corruption and mediocre governance that this current administration is displaying. Because no, with the hurricane, it has all right. Right now, it has been more than 3 months since September 3. And I realize a few of the policies that PNP was proposing in the election, but could have literally helped the Jamaican people already.
Yes.
Because when PNP did I propose land access,
Oh, Tolo!
in did I consider people down at Westmoreland right now, when the hurricane displaced them, everybody at about I know them I realize the issue where people did have with land. But PNP did already know, that's why they did have it in their proposal.
You see,
When he did say
the PNP, hold on, caller. The PNP is the People's National Party, you know.
me say, when the man say he did go put a Maroon, a Rastafari, and a diasporan on the Senate, everybody did take up arms with it. And now look on the conflict where the Maroon find themselves with this government. Because obviously, and not just the government, with the Jamaican people too, because a lot of Jamaican people don't respect the Maroons and the Maroon Treaty and the land where the people they have. And that is why PNP realize say Maroon after make law in a Maroon interest, because if you left it up to people like Uno and Labour right, them will get pushed to the sideline. All right, let's say all of this we say, Colin. The propaganda where they spread on this man, say him never born here and him white and he uptown, so him kind of disconnected from the issues that Jamaicans face. It's a complete lie. Cause all of them policy here where the man did a propose, or the whole party did a propose in the election. 3 months later, we see where they obviously could have benefited the people. I'm just so disappointed. I just really want to come to say, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to really look past party colors and we have to really look past the person too. Because at the end of the day, if Andrew honestly did in a PNP as PNP leader for the party, and I keep up them same careless here, so we couldn't support it just because I'm a PNP.
Can't support
we can't look on the person, we can't look on the party color. We have to look at the policies that they are passing, are willing to pass on our behalf, and that's all me I beg the people if they just look out on the eye and stop acting yourself over stupidity about white man this and want massa rule, when to be honest, this Labour government already has like a white man a lead with through a black man, like that are the thing. Him is a puppet to the white man.
Worse than massa.
But I digress. I thank you, I hear.
Blessings, my brother. 876-804-7072. Obi, what would that land policy have done to people now? Lot of people living on government lands.
Well, Colin, that would have basically solved the land issue that we have been struggling with for decades. And it is amazing that those proposals that were put out there by Mark Jefferson Golden as to what they would do at the PNP form the government. But yes. I want to say this quickly, Colin, in regard to what the caller just said a while ago. The People's National Party has a leader in the form of Mark Golden. Mark Golden came to the political fray, say 5 years ago, in terms of the hosting. That 5 years essentially was spent basically introducing Mark Golden to the people of Jamaica. The people of Jamaica now know Mark Golden. That introduction gained the PNP 28 seats during the last general election. I am now saying to the People's National Party, in Mark Jefferson Golden, you have a gem as the leader. Hunker down around him and basically move forward, because I believe that in Mark Jefferson Golden, Jamaica have one of the best persons to basically lead this country. And I believe that whenever that time comes, which may not be 5 years from now, but could be sooner, I believe the people of Jamaica, know that they know Mark Golden, know that they recognize the policy that they were putting forward and so on, they will do what they have to do, Colin. So, all in all, the land proposal that Mark Golden and the PNP put forward, Colin, that would definitely be a game changer because a great portion of those people who have lost their houses and so on, those land that they lived on that one would say were capture land and whatever, they are there now well over 12 years, and a lot of those lands are crown land. And also the land that they're on, that is probably owned by people. When you look at the generational history as well, Colin, they are there over 25 years. And remember that those lands would go into the hand of the people once it would be a reduction from 60 to 25 years. Just imagine what that would mean for the people of Jamaica generally, and in particular, the people in Western Jamaica, Westmoreland, St. James, and part of St. Elizabeth.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, morning, Mr. Bell. Morning, Conrad. Good work you're doing now.
Good morning.
It is the solar aspect of the new contract. I wonder if them people know what to put in the contract to benefit people. Because right now, in the US, me have an electric car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me can solar to the grid and me can charge in at the night off peak. We need them thing there. When me there yard, I may produce excess solar. If me give my neighbor and the GPS pass and see me, they could have charged me. Them thing they need for the car out of the books and them thing there.
Well, some of those things were things that the PNP had in their manifesto. And some of those things are the things that Philip Paulwell has been championing.
Yeah.
Because I want to remind Jamaicans, because I saw some people on social media, some labor rights who are suffering from battered woman syndrome on social media, trying to blame Philip Paulwell for the high electricity bill. In 2012, when the PNP came in power, we were paying about 35 cents per kilowatt hour. For the 4 to 5 years under the PNP, electricity bill, the cost of electricity came down from 35 cents per kilowatt hour to between 20 cents and 25 cents per kilowatt hour. 10 years under the GLP, we are now at between 45 and 50 cents per kilowatt hour. How did Philip Paulwell bring it down? Whipton Wind Farm, 2 major solar farms that assist in bringing renewable energy to the grid to bring down our energy costs. So now eat that and understand it. What the caller is talking about is wheeling and net metering, net billing.
Yes.
That is what the caller is talking about. That is something that Philip Paulwell has been championing for years. So caller, it's not new to Jamaica. The proposal was on the table. But the Jamaican people, a lot of them, don't vote for policies. And that is what we need to start begging the people. Vote for policies.
Yes, when you look at Jamaica now, all public building, all school, all hospital should have solar panel.
Oh, yes.
All public building should. And we have some deal with China. Deal with China, and we can't do a deal with China.
But one of the things that Philip Paul was saying that Cuba have the technology how to build solar panel, and that we would have sent people to Cuba to learn how to build them and build them right here in Jamaica.
Yes, man. Why them no mean we're not good? That's all we can say. They don't mean the country not good. Them don't mean the country not good. Because even after in the day, a peak. Anytime after 10 o'clock, half peak, a cheaper rate is supposed to when less people use it and all them something.
Go ahead, Obi.
Yeah, Colin, the caller is spot on, and as you correctly pointed out, the situation on the former minister, Philip Paulwell, who again, Colin, this word guru comes up quite a few times in the program, and one cannot describe Philip Paulwell any other way than to refer to him as a guru. Philip Paulwell is the most knowledgeable politician in Jamaica, and I would say he compared favorably in the Caribbean as it relates to energy and technology. And certainly, Colin, remember that the Whipton Wind Farm, the government offload that, put it in the public domain, when they sold it, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
brought in immense amount of revenue to the government as well. That was the handiwork of a Philip Fiona Paulwell. So what one must give credit, and you know, Colin, it kind of irks me when
Hold on,
people
caller.
are so uncharitable and just can't look at people good work. We must also point it out, you know, Colin, that remember that the monopoly license with the telecom sector
Cable and
that would have
wireless.
ended 2037. 2037.
2038.
And Philip Paulwell had basically negotiated that and broke up that monopoly.
Long time ago.
As he said to Darrell Vaz, that listen, you need not wait until 2027. The negotiation and the conclusion with the Jape Space license can happen right now as we speak.
All right, we have a new caller. Go ahead, caller. Let me say, oh Lord, let me thank the other caller. If you want to hold caller, we could come back to you, but thanks if you can't hold any longer. Go ahead, caller.
Colin, good morning. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
You know, I don't call as often as I usually do, but I listen on the nights when I reach home and things. Sometimes I can't listen at work.
Yeah.
But the same thing that Obi is talking about, that's what I actually want to talk about. It's the same, the current back and forth between both Minister Vaz and Mr. Paulwell.
Yes.
And I realized that Mr. Paulwell has been coming out and pushing back. What they're using is the same argument that he negotiated the deal and he did that and whatever. And the point is that you had said something, I think, in your show day before yesterday when you were saying that the misinformation, the disinformation,
yes,
the PNP has to go push back and put out their position on a number of the matters. My personal position on Vaz himself is that he's out of his depth. Right? He's given this
understand it. Him not understand it.
No, he doesn't. And he gets away because, and I'm going to say it, because of his privilege. That's why he gets away with it. And people are afraid to call him out. Right? And I'm happy that Mr. Paulwell has been pushing back and putting out the information for persons to look at it and read. And he has to do more of that. The other point that I want to say quickly is, as again, I was listening to you the other day about the fiscal rule, and you have on Alston. In my line of business, I give loans. And let me tell you this. We are having a serious problem because persons are not taking them up.
Oh? Let me ask you a question. You say you give out loans.
Mm-hmm.
If I borrow $1 million from you, and you said I should pay back 50,000 a month for 2 years, and I pay back, no, I think I'm using the wrong analogy. If I borrow a business loan, because business loan, I think sometimes you pay on the interest before you start pay upon the principal, right?
Most loans are like that, or if not all loans.
So if I pay back the loan faster than I need to, what does that do to my credit ratings? It give me a better credit ratings, or if I pay the loan as I am supposed to?
What it does for you is that it's not beneficial to me as the banker if I pay it off in time. However, if you take that loan and pay it off, make the payment on time, don't miss a payment or anything, your credit, I want to talk to you as a banker.
Because I pay the loan on time.
Know, say, your credit rating up, so I know you're credit worthy to me. I want to talk to you.
Because you want me to take the 2 years to pay it off at 50,000 on time and don't miss a payment.
Yeah, and your credit rating going to basically go through the roof. Because it means that your credit, you're worthy. People want to give you credit.
Okay. All right. Just
right. So
just
that is beneficial. to you as the person if you pay it or if you pay it over the time.
Yes.
Because it means that you're committed to pay off the loan.
Right. And I stick to the agreement.
Right, and you stick to the agreement. So when I pull your credit report, I basically want to talk to you because I say, well, this person has a good credit issue, so we can work on it. I know where you're going with the argument though, because it's that what they did in paying off the thing before time made no sense. Because they had the fiscal space now to actually just take the time, pay the loan, and at the same time do some capital work because they haven't spent it on that capital budget for the longest while. There's no infrastructure that has taken place. That is where they're going wrong.
And that is why I have been saying to the labor right bloggers and troll that the damage down at West are Andrew Holness and the GLP
Yeah, man, they're responsible for that.
Yeah, man.
They're
Fully
responsible for that. There's no massive project. There's nothing that was done down that side. None at all. I say also the other day, I said last thing quickly. I say the other day, Marlon, Robert Morgan said that, their goal is to crisscross the country with these highways. And I laughed because that was the sole intended purpose from when PJ Patterson from when he announced the whole thing.
Of course, to circle the island.
Right? So they're announcing it as if that it's a come to Jesus moment for them that we're there. Oh, yeah, man, we're doing this. No. It's out there.
Yeah, man. Porsche and PG done said they need circle the island. All right,
and
caller.
I think people...
Finish.
I think people don't understand the level of work that Porsche is similar.
Yeah, caller, finish your thought.
Colin?
Yeah, Obi, I heard you. But it look like
let the caller hold on. I just want to say something to him.
No, I'm gone. I'm never.
All right, no problem. I'm sure you'll be listening. Colin, I have to leave, because it's now 10:33. But Colin, you're at liberty. Give the caller my number. I want to put him in contact with a couple of people who maybe need his assistance. All right? And, the important point, Colin, that the caller ended on is that there was absolutely no value, or there is no value to the government in overcompensating, in paying down the loan early, overpaying the loan early, because what that does, Colin, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that we would have been deprived from any loan from any international bodies. But what it means is that our infrastructure is very porous, and it means that we are now left in with a greater problem in terms of the magnitude of the damage caused by the Cat 5 Hurricane Melissa, because we did not use that $100 billion plus that we overpay to the IMF to basically build out the infrastructure. That's the gravamen, Colin. That's where the rubber really hits the road.
All right, Toby. Thanks very much. Have a good day, my brother.
Bless you. Take care. All the best.
We have a caller on the line. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. Season greetings to you, your family, and everybody in the chat. And may 2026 catch you in a good spirit and a good mood.
Blessings.
However, I'm just saying this towards Mr. Iman.
Yeah.
We want to say to give favor advice or be advisor.
Yeah.
My opinion. No true patriotic Jamaican must not mix up with this regime in no shape, no form. No matter how the money big, no matter what happens, let them in their own wallet. Because no matter how good you be, when you mix up with them, devil refuse you.
Jesus, devil refuse you.
Devil refuse. You pass hell and gonna pocketary.
You pass hell and gonna where?
A pocketary.
So hold on. Me think of the dongle heaven and hell. You have pocketary. We're worse than hell.
Yes.
Me mama.
Worse than hell.
Me hear you.
Right.
Me never hear that one yet. Madam Producer.
So therefore, no matter how we are struggling, make we go through in and we source of banana and drink your pot water and stand, because when the Almighty God put in your appearance, hell in hell. So,
No, man.
no matter what money,
I'm not hell in hell.
no
Hell
matter
to
what,
pocketary.
from hell to pocketary. Yes. So, no matter what money, them offer you to be this or to be that,
It's
don't
not-
have nothing.
It's not about the money.
Nothing to do with them. Nothing. All when them put the zero up there, so,
Hold
and
on.
put it round there, so,
Caller.
and it should have go round there, so,
Caller.
make them come now.
Caller. It's not about the
Yeah.
money, you know. It's about saving Jamaica.
Yes, but God, Jamaica got save because them are gonna get confused, just like when now the Bible when them a make it Tower Babel,
Yes.
and when them a go too far, what you believe happen?
When they need
You
that.
attack Spanish.
Yes,
me
when they need
attack
that, they need to
French,
listen to God.
Mhm.
Yes.
So right in a then they know them a go turn upon them one another like vampire and start yam them one another, and that is when everything will come out.
That a
Remember me
pocketary.
tell you.
That is pocketary.
Yeah. Yes. The more turn hell. If you watch this, it's sitting. I went yesterday. If you watch it sitting at the bar,
The Senate sat
Senate.
yesterday. Yeah.
And when Kamina Johnson attack, and Habka sit down beside him, beside her. And if you watch Habka body language, in eye, in face, how him a go on, when she touch on some point, like you must say, where did you want that officer? But you can watch him body language. Although them come up and talk about congratulations to police and the government of this and the government and the over 30 here, the crime rate is down. These people is so liar, wicked and cruel. Nobody now talk about the woman, the mothers, the family who has lost their children to police brutality when there is no gun, no weapon, no stick, no charge, no what you call it, when the judge sent out for you, warrant, and yet still that are those persons gone leave them baby and their mother. They not talk about the brutality where the security force kill people in front of them baby mother, in front of them mother, in front of them pitney. I am not condoning with no criminal. If you have the heart to face the police, you have a right to go down. But we need, when you go down, when the security forces take you down, it will be justified.
I am in
Not
agreement.
because,
with you.
me black, I may buy a market. That doesn't say every a criminal alone drive markets.
Yes.
You must make sure so when you bust your shot bust properly.
Yes.
So when you pull them up a copper, nobody no have nothing to say.
Yes.
Because you are going to tell me say a man have a M16. Well loaded.
And
Police come for him see police, and he don't go pipe upon them. That's supposed to be a tie gun. That couldn't be a 6 months.
Sister P.
Right?
Yeah, talk.
Right.
Yeah, talk. Yeah,
Right.
talk. Talk, you talk.
So, and the next thing will hurt me. DK Duncan. May Keith Donald Duncan. May soul rest in eternal peace. May light perpetual shine upon him.
Hallelujah.
And to see what that man has done for this country. That man has saved Michael Mann, the life of Spanish Town. Saved his life when he draw down Michael and bust the 357. Bam, bam. I was there. Hold him down and have to back it down and pop off and dash away.
And beat
and
it.
To see his son. Beat it. Time 357 Magnum a wire in a man. And when you look, this is his son. I think he's the only son I don't hear him call for the next son. Stand up in our parliament and I talk about over the last 30 years and the last 30 years. That simply means him a flinging father under the bus. What a worthlessness. Eh?
7 brothers, 7 different mind though, yeah?
You born, yeah, you're born and you have a mind of your own.
Yes.
Your father support A. You feel to support B. Nothing is wrong with that.
Cause
Fine.
my daddy was a labor
Right.
right from the home to the tomb, you know.
All right.
My daddy
So
was a
nothing wrong.
three-time labor right counselor.
But speak truth to power. Do not make it look like back then the PMP has done nothing. And what we know are living off of, what we know today, 2025, and live off of, are how a PMP put in.
Yeah, man, it's the
And
PNP legacy Jamaica. Jamaica
everything,
is living off PNP legacy right now. Me I tell you that.
everything, NHT, NIS, you name it.
No,
PMP.
NIS are not for we. NIS are for them.
Ah,
NIS are for them.
So I don't know where they come from with this foolishness. And I congratulate the commissioner of police.
Well, Sister P. Sister P.
Yeah.
I join in congratulating the police, and I am giving the government some of the congratulations too. Murders are down, and you can't go around that. Police killings are up, you can't go around that. No, we must remember, that a life is a life. And when criminal go out there and unalive people, we can't condone that. And I stand with the police in being vigilant. But I have a problem with the government and with the police when it comes to the body cameras. And this is now my opinion, that the government is not interested in the police wearing the body cameras. I don't think the government, the amount of announcement we get of purchases or orders of body camera, and we don't hear police are wear body camera, then the prime minister come go on like we are idiot and tell we say you have to have the background set up to deal with body camera. Oh, we know that. We know that, prime minister. Stop take with a fool. And I want to say to all of the people in the live right now, touch a thumbs up for me. Like up in live. Like up in live. A whole heap of people up on the live. Over 900. Like up the live right now. Please and thanks. So, Sister P, I am not going to take away from the government and say them not deserve no kudos. But here is where a lot of people now on the government side are vexed with me. Because the People's National Party, starting with Peter Murcott Bunting, must get some of the praise. Because when the GLP was all about states of emergency, crime was still going up in the country. And Peter Bunting was the man who started it and said, listen, this must stop. There are other ways. And the PNP stood up against the states of emergency. This year, I can't remember if we have had any states of emergency this year. Proximity policing was what Peter Bunting was talking about. We never need a state of emergency to have the soldiers out there with the police. And here we are. But one of the questions that must be asked, are there any murders? How many murders are out there? Or how many dead bodies are out there that we not determine if I murder them yet? I'd love to know that. I'm going to find out from Peter Bunting.
That is it, Mr. Bunting didn't tell him, say, do spear fishing, not net fishing.
That is it.
When you do net fishing, you catch everything in a net. But when you do spear fishing, you go for the one where you target.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
Right?
Yes.
And I salute every member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the good, law-abiding, hard-working man and woman of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. When we are asleep, you out there work. But I condone the few who out there reap havoc and bring down the name.
Oh, you don't condone them. You don't condone those.
I don't condone them there. Right? And with the commissioner of police, I just can't find it like effective enough. My opinion. So the opinion expressed by me is have nothing to do with Portland by TV. My opinion. I used to a commissioner will come out and speak just. and making president be shown. And being like a commissioner where I'm micromanaged by prime minister and minister and everybody have their role. You do your role, man. You do your report and bring it over to him and him look upon it. But me I like when you're everywhere the prime minister, they hit you back. No, you're too political, brother. Everybody have a right to them political party.
No, it's
Not saying you have a right.
no, but being out there with the prime
Right.
minister, you can't see that as being political because let me tell you something. Although you hear them say it's the service commission that choose the commissioner, rubbish. If the prime minister don't agree with what the commissioner, he can't be commissioner.
And I want to tell my prime minister, Mark Jefferson Golden. Whenever time you talk about this, my prime minister, you know about nobody else.
Your prime minister to be. One prime minister Jamaica. Your prime minister to be.
Yes. I want you to notice all these things what's happening because when you hold the rain, changes must make. Oh.
All right, Sister P. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, man.
Blessings.
Big up on yourself.
One love. 876-804-7072. That's the number to call. This is the Colin Bell Show. We're live on Portland Spice TV. We do it every Saturday morning. I want to say something about an issue. I can see if I have this. Because I want to say something about an issue. No, I need to get him over here. Because, let me tell you something, you know. You see, Shaka Fame is very versatile. Enough of you don't know my versatility. Enough people don't know my background. Don't know my background at all. But in life, you have to use all your talent. Where is it? I'm looking for something here. Did I get it down? Did I? Let me just look. One more time. My people, Jamaica don't have to sink, you know. Jamaica have the ability to come out of this better than we were before the hurricane. And the Prime Minister said it, that we have never had the opportunity of spending, him say, well, 6 point out, but the government don't have access to 6.7 billion. The government have access to 3.6 billion. Because 2.4 billion of the money a year they're talking about, the government of Jamaica now have no access to it. Government now have no access to it. The private sector of Jamaica have access to a portion of it. That is the 2.4. The government can't get none of the 2.4. Don't make them trick you. But Jamaica have the ability to come out of this well, better than before, if we do it right. If we do it right. Now, my concern about doing it right is with the team we have at the Ministry of Finance. It's also with the lack of vision from this Andrew Wilness-led administration. And the Bible tells you that where there is no vision, the people perish. So if the government not showing vision, we're not going nowhere. Because if you do the same thing, the same way, and expect a different result. It's insanity. Now, we as a people have to start ensuring that we grow. And one of the ways that this country can see growth is if you invest in the culture and the creative industry. Now on the screen behind me is Vibes Cartel. One of the biggest Jamaican artists right now out there. Making millions of US dollars. This is one man. One man. Lot of other artists are make millions too. But I see a whole heap of people come out and I talk about massacre and cartel. As I say, I want to segue a little bit. Now, I now going to tell you this right now this morning, my claim to fame to talk about this topic. But let me ask you something. Those of you who say Vibes Cartel are king of dancehall, how much clash Vibes Cartel ever win? How much dancehall clash Vibes Cartel ever win? Vibes Cartel is not no king of no dancehall. Some little hurry come up people we want to get in a cartel big book. Rig up something and say my king. As me say, me not going to tell you no my claim to fame. But most of what talk about dancehall, this man has been more involved and has done more for dancehall than most of them. I want to go search and find it. But cartel, I don't know, clash artists. Cartel can't manage clash. So cartel, you take my advice. Go do your biopic. Get a biopic done now. Make some more millions. And go star in a 2 movie. Yeah? That is my suggestion to Vibes Cartel. Because you know clash artists. When you kick down Ninja Man, I was there. I'm not going to tell them no more, Madam Producer. I'm going to stop right there, so. I mean in the crowd. On the stage. And I will eat more. So listen to me. All I know out there, yap. Cartel and no clash artists. Cartel can't manage massacre. Not no clash artists. Beenie Man. Moses Davis is still the king of the dancehall. Me leave that alone now. And go back to Jamaica. Maybe later. Let me leave that alone. And get back to the matter at hand. Morning, Jeffrey Tavares. Jeffrey say, if it was some other modern democracy, Darrell Vaz couldn't sit in the parliament. Neither could Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness couldn't be sitting in the parliament if it was a real democracy that had people who were true to themselves and the country. Xavier Main couldn't be sitting there right now, neither Chris. Xavier Main is recommended to be charged by the Integrity Commission, and he's still sitting down there. Marissa Dalrymple couldn't be in the parliament. Here? Couldn't be. So, we have to understand that Jamaica is now officially a banana republic. Jamaica is now officially a banana republic. Anything goes. Anything goes. How can you be charged by the Integrity Commission? And I said this, when Marissa was charged by the Integrity Commission and she resigned as Speaker of the House, I was of the opinion that she shouldn't resign as MP. She never had to. But the fact that she resigned as MP and then Andrew Holness go carry her back and make she run back, cost the country $30 million. It's a banana republic. It is a banana republic. Mystical normally say this country, cemetery, arms house, and prison. I am calling on the people of Jamaica this morning to rise up from your slumber and answer the call. We have lowered the bar to dirt. The bar has been lowered. The bar of governance in this country has been lowered to the dirt. Any hog, dog, and puss can now become prime minister. Any hog, dog, and puss, and snail, because the bar is now so low. When you have a country that says all parliamentarians must file their statutory filing to the Integrity Commission every year, and the man at the top of the food chain, the Prime Minister's statutory filing, has not been certified since when? 2020 or 2021? Whichever one. And he's still sitting at the top as Prime Minister and stand up in the parliament about Jamaica's have the lowest corruption. When him can't sort out. I have been begging the Prime Minister from the second year of that statutory filing not certified to put the documents to the country if you believe that you are clean, and let the country scrutinize the documents, because you cannot have the Prime Minister, who is the chief servant, not certified. But you have labor rights out there defending him. And that's why I say to you that all labor right bloggers and vloggers who are out there blaming PNP for what is not right with this country, they're still blaming Omar Davis, PJ Patterson for what is not right with this country. When you have a party in government for 10 years and can't fix it, you are all suffering from battered woman syndrome. It is time for you to put Jamaica first. Put the country first. Now, we have Hurricane Melissa. Melissa hit on the 28th of October. We are at the 28th of December. People are down there sleeping in cars, sleeping under tarpaulin, begging a catch here and there, still in the hurricane shelters, while the government sits on over $115 billion that they have available to spend and have not spent a dime out of it yet, while the people are suffering. Somebody tell me why. The 115 billion I speak of is in donation, grants, insurance money, and loan. This money has been available for about Some of it about 3 weeks after the hurricane, some 4, some 5. And we're going into Christmas. And not even one house the government not build yet. The Master Builders Association said that between the hurricane and now they could have built 7,000 houses. I have said that we could have built it. But the government is saying to the people, sit and wait for 90 days for a container to come from China. And then when it comes from China, we're going to figure out who figure and how figure them. This is wicked. It is uncaring. Spoke earlier about the gentleman that spent 50 years in prison. 50 years, no trial. The court awarded him $120 million. Why is the government contesting that? Labor right bloggers and vloggers are who me depend this morning. Are who me come about. Because you are a set of wicked people. You wickeder than the Andrew Wilness-led administration. Labor right bloggers and vloggers are wickeder than Andrew. Because you are on your platform telling people if they wait, they must wait. Wicked and dreadful. Cool like ice. What you do to your party if you tell them give the people them house? What you do for the government if you say go assist the people them? But sit down and tell people about people for wait while sleeping on a big cozy dry bed with a roof over on your head, food in on the fridge, and food on the table and shoes by your feet. And sit down and talk about them for wait, they have to wait. Wicked, a dog heart. Are a set of dog heart people. Even dogs sometimes have like a conscience. Worse than dog heart. A hog heart to have. Labor right bloggers and bloggers who are haggard. Eh? No, but no, not. We there. We have shoes on our feet and clothes on our back. Look on the table. Food upon the table. And then me must tell the people in the West, you know, if you wait. You know, if you wait. No, but them labor right blogger and blogger, they are drunk heart, they have. Drunk heart. They on them platform because of politics. When I say the people if you wait for what? Government have money, they must go spend the money, fix up the people in life. There is no government without people. None. You have to have people for you to be government. You have to have people to lead. You have 115 billion that the government can spend right now. No. But because you don't want thief more money like how you thief money off of the school bus. You know got thief money off of the container house them too. A thief, them got thief money off of the container house. We don't need no container house. If they're not there already, they no need to come again. And we've been saying that from November. Go build concrete house, put the people in a concrete house can withstand category 5 hurricane. Concrete house can serve them for a lifetime. All I am saying, Mr. Prime Minister, are you a Prime Minister? One Prime Minister Jamaica have. Yes, let me say 1 p.m. Are you? Find a little heart. Tell yourself, say your mother house mash up down there. How long would you wait to rebuild your mother's house if it did blow down at Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, or St. James, or Hanover, Mr. Prime Minister? Mr. Prime Minister, if your mother did down at St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, or St. Elizabeth, or anywhere, and our house blow down, would you wait 2 months to build it back if you have the money, Mr. Prime Minister? I wouldn't wait. If I'm my mother, I'd have built back our house right away. So, Mr. Prime Minister, every woman down at Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, and over St. James, they are your mother. All of the elderly man them down there, where you walk a beg a catch, are your father them. Get the agencies them to build back the house. You go over Pinnacle and you see how fast the man them build the tower. If it was a one-story house, they could have built it in a 30 days. Just time for the concrete for cure. And concrete cure between 14 and 21 days. Don't make nobody thief none of the people their money, Mr. Prime Minister. Don't buy no house from China. Build concrete house with Jamaican sand, Jamaican gravel, Jamaican concrete block, Jamaican cement, Jamaican tradesman. What aspect of the container houses are Jamaican, Mr. Prime Minister? Our money you use build up China. Mr. Prime Minister, may I appeal to you this morning. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. It will benefit you, sir. You're looking at 4th term. Treat the people right. It might just be possible if you treat the people right. But how you are suffer the people, them, sir? Eh? There are those of us who are going to remember, you know, sir. There are those of us who are going to play back these. And the next thing, Mr. Prime Minister, I leave it now, but before I leave, stop lying to the Jamaican people. You and your team, sir. You and your team are lead the misinformation crew. You and your team, sir. Stop it now. Stop it. Speak the truth, the entire truth, and nothing but the truth. Yeah. I want to thank Ralston Hyman and Conrad O'Brien for coming on this morning, 3 the hard way. And if you missed it, go back or watch it. Economy class 2.6. Telling you about Jamaican economy. Ralston Hyman is the #1 financial analyst in Jamaica. Favor, if you want to keep your job, call Ralston. Ralston say you know him and him know you. Real figures. Just the truth. I want to thank you who have been with us. Like up the live, like up the live. People, the thumbs up, touch it for me, everybody. Everybody on the live right now, just touch the thumbs up if you're not touch it yet. Please and thanks. Touch the thumbs up. Give the video a like. Like up the video if you don't like it yet. Please and thanks. Touch up the thumbs up before me leave you. We are going to join you tomorrow morning where we're taking your calls. We're not bringing on no guests. Sunday morning we do a show called Talk Jamaica. We give you a chance to speak your mind. Touch up the live. Touch up the live. I see some people are touch it up. Touch it up. Touch up the live. Let me take this call before me go. Morning. Morning. Look like you're not to get through. Hello, good morning. Touch up the live, everybody. Touch up the live some more, man. Everybody with the piano touch the live yet. Yes, caller, go ahead. Oh, I'm gone. So, tomorrow morning, we're taking your calls from start to finish. Yes, Jamaica is a banana republic. Anything goes. That's what it means. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet tomorrow morning right here on Portland Spice TV. Colin Shaka Fame Bell saying thank you for watching. Somebody never liked when we mention about cartel. But if you do your research on yours truly, dancehall is a part of me. Yeah, man. Me in a dancehall from dancehall was a place, not a music. Your original dancehall was a place, not a music. I have introduced Vibes Cartel on stage before. Whole heap of the artists them where you know. Me. Percy Sledge. Freddie Jackson. But that's for another time and place. It's for another time and place. But wanna stay safe. Share something with somebody. And remember, if you're putting forward a package to send down to the West to assist people, give them a light. Give them a solar light. Give them a light. Give them a solar light. Tell him, Colin, he might call you. No, I'm not even going to call that. Call me something else. Not that. Not that. Never in life. We are real youth. Real as they come. One love, my people. See you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, everybody. God bless you.